Good day all. Today I'll be fitting some soft luggage and pannier rails to my Royal Enfield 650 Classic. There was a bit of faffing about initially because they don't actually come with any instructions and the parts weren't quite assembled exactly as they should be. So to save you that time and hassle, I've made this short video, and if you follow the same route, then hopefully this will help you. So on unpacking, you'll find various parts. Obviously you've got the racks themselves. There'll be obviously a left and a right hand. The lugs here at the bottom, they are obviously for the support, which is the two of those as well. They look like this. They have, or mine have, the fixing bolts already attached, which are 10mm, and then these have various lugs, the top and bottom lug which face forwards, and a top lug which takes a bracket that goes into the seat. So these are the brackets. This is one of the forward brackets, and the flat one also is a forward bracket, and then the top angle one is the one that goes from the side pannier rail to the rear seat fixing, which will be more obvious when we come to fit it. I'll show you. So onto the fixings that come with it. There'll be 5 of the stainless steel dome head bolts with locking nuts, and they are for fixing the brackets to the pannier rails. There's also 3 bolts. Now mine were assembled incorrectly, so be careful. The 50mm bolt and nut goes with the large spacer that's been plated, and that's the one that goes just above the silencer. The socket head bolt with nut is the one that goes from the bracket into the handle hole just under the seat, and then there's a larger 70mm bolt that should be used with the large washer and smaller of the 2 spacers, and the nut's not needed because when you remove that top bolt, you'll see later that taps straight into the rear fender. So here we have it, the 650 Classic. Now I found the easiest way actually is to remove the rear seat if you have it fitted. So obviously using the Allen key, just undo the bolt underneath here and remove the seat. The next thing to do obviously is to assemble the frames. Now this is a left hand bracket with, as I say, the lugs for the shelf, if you like, to the bottom, and then when you fit the brackets, use the stainless steel dome nuts. Don't do them up too tight yet because there's going to be some movement required, and the best way is to fit them behind the lug, not on top of. So fit the actual bracket behind the lug on the nut side. The upper one should be fitted in this way, and then if you look at it from above, you can see the angle there to make sure you've got the right hand for the right side of support. And then on the top you'll have this one. This is the one that fits into the seat itself, so that should be fitted like that. As I say, all of these, just nip them up a bit, but leave them so there is some movement because you'll need to adjust the correct position before you tighten everything down. So now we can set these onto the bike. So This top bracket here is going to go behind the handle, so we'll obviously need to remove the handle to fit this. This one here is, we're going to remove this bolt and then fit the bolt with a spacer into the frame. And the lower one here, we need to remove this bolt, and again the bolt with the bigger spacer goes in there. So this is the next stage. Okay, so first of all, 12mm socket and spanner. Need to undo these. And then we move on to the top one. Again, using a 12mm socket. We can remove that one, which again is going to be replaced with a longer bolt that came in the set. Next, we need to make provision for the bracket that goes behind this rear handle fixing. I found the best way to do that is to loosen the front one. And I'm using a 6mm Allen wrench. Just loosen it off. This one needs to come right out. So nut, draw the bolt, and once that's removed, you see this will flip out of the way and give you plenty of access to it. Now we can start to offer the the bracket up and see how that's all going to tie in. It looks pretty good so far. So there's probably more than one way of fitting it, but I found to start with the top fixing. So take the longer of the two bolts with the large chrome washer, and the smaller of the spacers, and just start to pinch that up a little bit, not too much, because we need plenty of adjustment. And then with a 12mm socket, tighten that up. Just a couple of threads there, because now we can start to look at the bottom one. So this uses the, notice I've put some cloth here just to protect the exhaust, because when I'm talking to you it's a bit difficult. So now we use the shorter bolt, and we use the bigger of the spacers. So small bolt, spacer, that goes through this fixing lug, and we put the 12mm nut on the back. Again, just pinch it up a little bit, because let's get the final one in before we do anything up, because as I say, it needs to move a little bit and get it settled in. Now we're ready to fix the top bracket. So using the socket head machine screw, that goes back through the handle, through the bracket, into the rear rack with the nut on the inside, which is a bit fiddly, but now you can see why I decided to remove the seat. Okay. Again, we don't want to do anything too tight yet until we've positioned everything nicely. So just to recap, the top fixing, not tight yet, but that's how it looks and the order that it goes into. The bottom one with a larger spacer, again, needs to be tightened, but there you can see the nut on the back ready to be screwed up. And then the top, we've just put that socket head bolt through the handle, bracket behind it, and obviously there's a nut on the inside here which you'll need to get access to tighten everything up. And of course we need to tighten retighten the handle where we just loosened it off for access. So that's all the bolts tightened down now, both at the handle, the lower fixing and the top one. You should just be left over now with the 25mm bolt nut from the original bottom position, and a 45mm bolt which was originally in the top here. You shouldn't have anything else left over. Although they do supply you with a handle fixing bolt and nut, but there's no need for it. They're exactly the same size as the ones that come as standard, so that's why I've just used the same ones again. Once everything's tight and you're sort of happy you've got a good fixing there, now's the time to tighten up all these socket heads. So with a 5mm Allen wrench and 13mm on the lock nuts, let's get all those fitted. Now that just leaves the base to be fitted, the support. So remove the two 10mm screws. It is symmetrical, it doesn't matter which way it goes up. I would suggest the best welds to the top, or the worst weld to the bottom maybe. And then come in from the other side, and this base plate's threaded, so just screw straight into the back into the base plate. Do up with a 10mm spanner. Once they're both done up tight and checked, we're ready to go. And it should look something like that. So I just need to refit the seat. Obviously I've already fitted the right hand side, but you'll need to do exactly the same thing the other hand. So seat refitted, and just to walk you around so you can have a rear view, seeing them both in position. And bear with me, and I'll put one of the soft bags on just so you can get an idea of what it looks like, but you'll have your own idea of which bags you want. So as I said, there's various bags on the market. I've opted for these leather ones because they came with the rails as a kit. But obviously there are canvas ones if you prefer. There's all sorts. These ones, as I say, leather. They're quite large. They've got a Velcro fixing to the top, so quite a big space really, and then buckled down cover. I'm not really going to be riding in the wet, so it's not really an issue. Internal straps could be better. The 3 top ones are central, but obviously this one here can't be fitted because the ideal place will be where the bracket is. So I've had to offset it slightly just so I can get that 3rd strap in place. And at the bottom, where you don't want it central, they've put it central again. So again, I've had to go to one of these bars. So you've either got to move the bag back really, or push it forward. I've just chosen to fit it back. So as I say, it's not central. You can see you've got a much larger gap here than you have around the other side here. But I don't really want to move the bag forward because it might interfere with a pillion. So yeah, that's what I've done. And hopefully you'll fit your own bags in whichever way you decide, as long as there's no straps, no way that anything could enter the wheel, not a problem. Okay, so there you go. Royal Enfield 650 soft luggage and pannier rails. Hope that was useful. And if you did find it useful, please like the video, and if you want to, subscribe and click the notification. And because I will be doing some more work on the bike, obviously, over the coming weeks, months, and I'll make videos on that as well. It's not quite due its 2nd service yet, but as soon as it is, I should be doing that myself, and obviously I can film that. So good luck. Stay ride safe. Cheers.